forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New era, TT, net radio.
energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
So let's say a very special good morning to everybody, wherever you may be tuning in, tuning on. Good to have you here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. I want to say a very special good morning to Trinidad, good morning to Tobago. And I tell you, yeah, we are the home of this whole emancipation celebration. So good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to our neighbors in the Caribbean, friends who are streaming all around the globe. Good to have you, and I'm hoping that you had a really good night rest and you're ready for all that's going to be coming your way today. Much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day, and all that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. People, I'm yours truly, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be here with you in the land of the living. Of course, together with the team, this is Net Radio's. Welcome everybody to the breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you sing. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across the planet, and welcome to the Breakfast Show this morning. Of course, it is Wednesday midweek, but it's also kind of like a Thursday, and tomorrow is kind of like a Friday because we have a holiday on Fridays. So the end of the week is here. So the weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. You know, if it's one thing we do well here, is to remind you when the week is coming to an end. And it's coming to an end tomorrow. So, good morning, wherever you are. Put a smile on your face. There's less traffic in Trinidad and Tobago, except when there's a lot of rain. Because they had some rain yesterday, so I encountered some traffic. But, you know, otherwise, you know, it's generally smooth sailing on the roads of TNT these days. At least at the times I'm on the road. So, I don't know if people are getting bad traffic otherwise. But anyway, good morning to you wherever you are on the planet, wherever you are on your commute across the planet, wherever you are. I mean, some people may be in traffic right now as I speak, depending on where they are on planet Earth. But a special good morning to you, and a special good morning, of course, to the Caribbean, where we are beaming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Good morning again, Richard Ragobasing and Charles Davis. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It is, in fact, Wednesday morning, and it is, in fact, a short week. So as Richard said, today is like a Thursday and tomorrow is like a Friday, and that's how we'll treat it. Because we live for public holidays, and we are guaranteed we are guaranteed one at the beginning and at the end of August. Isn't that wonderful?
Yep. And for those of you who live in other parts of the planet, I'm not too sure what holiday we're celebrating. We're celebrating African Emancipation Day on Friday, which is August 1st. And interesting historical fact, Trinidad and Tobago is the first country on planet Earth to have designated a public holiday, designating African Emancipation Day as a holiday on August 1st, 1985. So we're the first country in the world ever to have put in such a public holiday to celebrate the freedom from, you know, African enslavement. And of course, other countries have since followed. For a few countries, I'm not so sure how many countries have an Emancipation Day now.
If I'm not mistaken, it's just one more.
Jamaica?
I'm not. You know what? We'll depend on the chat today.
You're bumping your gum and saying just one more, and you can't even name the one more?
Hold on. We'll depend on the chat today. Let the people do the research today. I don't want to come out of what I have on my phone because I want to do that.
But you said one more with such confidence.
I
I went to Jamaica. That was the first place I went to.
No, I don't think it's Jamaica. I said I think, but I let people on the chat find it and send it to us. You know, I'm almost certain David Mohammed mentioned it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation with David Mohammed.
There are a number of countries that do celebrate it.
Sorry?
Barbados also celebrates.
Barbados also celebrates.
Yeah, Grenada, St. Lucia, I think also.
Also, a lot of the Caribbean. Okay, yeah. Beautiful. Well, you see how we have Sir Charles there? Also, you're struggling by the other place.
You bring up the other places. I didn't mention other places. All I said was Trinidad and Tobago was the first, and that's all I said.
I'm not even sure if we are the first.
We are the first.
Okay.
Yeah, we are the first. Yeah, we started.
Okay.
Hey, know your history.
All right. Maybe I'm just trying to provoke conversation.
No, you're not trying to provoke no conversation. I know really trying to provoke conversation.
I'm sure David Mohammed mentioned somewhere else yesterday in Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'm now pulling it up. There are 7 actually Caribbean countries officially celebrating Emancipation Day on August the 1st, and they are, of course, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, and they have they say Dominica also recognizes Emancipation Day around this time, and St. Kitts and Nevis observes Culturama, a festival that includes Emancipation celebration, typically around the same period also. So things are happening.
But David, I mean, as I said, it was so nice chatting with David yesterday. David always brings a wealth of history and knowledge. You know, he has, and he talks in this measured tone. So you listen. You know, he grips you in listening to him when he speaks. You know, so it was nice. He brought back a lot of memories of our breakfast show way back in the day. We really had fun with David because we would challenge him from time to time because you know David sometimes didn't like to be challenged back in those days. He's gotten a lot older and wiser now, you know. sometimes
I think our interaction is special because I think for a lot of people, David can come across a little serious because oftentimes he's in lecturer mode, and a lot of times, you know, he is talking on serious, important topics, and so a lot of times people may not be aware that he has a sense of humor.
Yes,
you know, they may not be aware. So of course, in our interaction with him, because we were a trio for a few years, so we became very comfortable with each other, and would be having a certain amount of camaraderie, and peacock back and forth, which you saw yesterday.
Yes, and please, folks, I don't have an OnlyFans page, but I could.
Wendell, you don't have to defend anything. You know, you're a big man.
David,
you are a big man, Wendell Stephen. If you feel to show your toes on internet late at night when you can't sleep and wiggle them and get money, we don't going to judge you for that. We don't judge.
Well, you just give me an idea.
Say it with me, Sir Charles. We don't judge.
Well, you've just given me an idea because, you know, I've got beautiful toes, right? Every time I go for a pedicure, I'm always complimented by my toes.
All right, so try and make some money. Try and make some money from it.
I could.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Somebody, Alexa, give me trouble.
Yeah, no, Alexa said she felt she had to intervene. She said she don't know how to help you with that.
I'm gonna do a toes only fan page. I'm gonna do that.
Right, and put it up on Facebook.
There
are some people in this stream right here that want to see your toe. You get quiet.
Anyway, I can confirm, I was Googling, I can confirm that Ghana recognizes and celebrates African Emancipation Day. It's it's observed annually on August 1st also. David did say that yesterday. So I'm saying I know that Ghana also does it. You know, so Ghana also celebrates African Emancipation Day. Right?
And that's because also that August was not just a day that we pull out any hat. So, you know, like independence, everybody celebrates it on different days. You know, it was because of that particular day.
Yeah.
But Trinidad and Tobago obviously has a rich historical legacy of being at the forefront of those fights for freedom. In terms of various personalities that we have birthed in terms of that whole movement for the empowerment of Black people and the freedom of Black people and the African diaspora. So I think it's only right that we were the first, in a sense, you know, which David referenced, and of course he mentioned a name I said I didn't know of yesterday, Mr. Sylvester. I didn't know of him.
Sylvester Williams.
Yeah, Henry Sylvester Williams, and I didn't really know of him before.
Right.
You know, and so obviously there's a rich history of people who have been at the forefront.
Yeah.
Even the Black Power movement, when that was sweeping North America at the time, I think it started off in Canada. People who are more attuned to that history can tell me. I think it started off in Canada and the universities and stuff like that. Universities have always been the birthing ground for a lot of protests and a lot of movements. And so, which is why I found it so strange when that kind of began had a statement to me, and I was like, what? Because it seems so counterintuitive to what universities represent in terms of that voice of academia, of freedom, of, you know, of making the world a better place. That almost, you know, that it has always been representing a lot of that, which is a problem in terms of the Trump administration now clamping down on university students, even international students, because of their support for Palestine and the Palestinian cause. And where did it come from? Universities across the United States, but not only the United States, across the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, but Trinidad and Tobago, the point is Trinidad and Tobago has always been I mean, we weren't there alone, of course, but we have been at the forefront.
I remember seeing that building with the name George Padmore on it in London. I was on the way. We were going to visit Arsenal Stadium, the Emirates Stadium. And I remember seeing that building. I took a picture. I'm sure I have a picture somewhere of it because it stood out. It's big, you know, like the Arima Hospital sign, big. The name George Padmore on that building. And of course, he is well known too in Africa, in Ghana in particular. You know, and of course, our very own Kwame Ture, former Stokely Carmichael. But these things rattles off David Mohammed's tongue, you know, because he has such a wealth of knowledge. He studied it. He's made it his life study, you know.
He has.
Yeah.
All right. So, but you know what? Because we are disciplined, we'll go into our good news at this point.
Yeah.
When you first meet someone, you are often forced into small talk, and it's usually only a matter of time before one party says, "So what do you do for a job?" And of course that makes sense, because most people spend about a third of their lives at work. But according to Aristotle, it's also a woefully inadequate way to understand somebody, because how much can you learn about somebody from what they do? For Aristotle, a much better question would be, how do you spend your leisure time? There is, of course, a practical element to work. We work to get money and to put food on the table and to keep the heating on in the winter. But for Aristotle, the point of being human is not just to survive, but to thrive. We need to grow and develop our character, and this only happened in those hours outside of the necessary hours of work. Leisure is where we feed those parts of us that make us human. We build connections, we develop hobbies, we learn new things, we take wonder at the world. A robot will work all day in a factory, and a robot is defined by its job. But a robot becomes a person when it goes home to play with its dog. A robot becomes a person when it goes bird watching, or it calls its mother, or it opens a book. Spare time is not spare. It's the only time that we have to truly be a human.
So that's our good news segment for today. Just reminding you that the importance of spare time, the importance of leisure time in life, and how it makes us more human in terms of, of course, that's a mini philosophy channel, but the philosophy of it, that's what really defines us as human beings, not what we do as a job, but actually what we do in our spare time, what we do when we love something, and what do you do in your spare time? What makes you more human? So that's our good news segment for today. And of course, Wendell is busy reading the stream, I assume. I don't know if that's what he's doing. But Wendell, your mic is off.
Sorry, I'm reading a comment by Oliver Manwaring, and he's right. He says, we are sounding very distorted on the television, but Facebook is fine. As a matter of fact, we're frozen sometimes. We were frozen for a while on the television there. I don't know if it's flow. I don't know if I think it might be a flow issue, Yeah.
Oh, I was not going to blame Sir Charles.
No, we back. Yeah, we are very distorted on television. I'm hearing us. I just put it on. We are distorted on the television. Our apologies. I think it might be a flow issue because for a good while there we were actually frozen too.
Oh, okay.
So it might be a flow issue.
Yeah, well, and that is not fun because remember our feed goes from our YouTube channel.
From YouTube, yes. Because Oliver is saying on Facebook we are fine, so I'm assuming we are also. So Wendy and James is saying Amplia is also distorted. I don't know how we are. I don't know how we are on YouTube. I suspect we are okay on YouTube. If we are,
I'm monitoring YouTube, and YouTube is coming through pretty good actually.
Yeah, but it's probably the television streams. I suspect it can't be just flow now because Wendy is saying it's also Amplia. All right, so happy birthday to. Guess what? I have some birthdays today. Avalon Romani, aka Red Rasta, she is celebrating her birthday today.
Red Rasta, I like
Red
that.
Rasta.
Hey,
Red Rasta. One from.
Yeah, and she's a Rasta.
Red Rasta. That red from Marvel. You know that Parmin red?
Yeah.
Right. So she
I wonder if she tall or she short.
She kind of medium height. Morning Avalon. Morning Red Rasta. Rachel Batiste from the Port of Spain Corporation. She's also celebrating her birthday today. Sally Ann Samaru, Nabila Juman, they are all celebrating birthdays today. And guess what? Richard's favorite person in the whole of the 41 members of parliament celebrating her birthday today.
Who's that boy?
Richard's favorite person in the whole of the 41 members of the parliament.
The whole parliament, you're saying?
All 41, and then the 16, and then it have, then it have 9, then it have 6. So 31 and 41, that's 72.
Richard, speak. Speak, Richard. You have any idea who he's talking about?
I have one very important thing to do because it's now 6:25.
All right.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Chamflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Chamflair. We do it all.
Looking for trusted, affordable security and property services? Horatio Services has you covered across Trinidad and Tobago. We offer battle security, canine patrols, 24/7 protection, and all sorts of private investigations, discreet, professional, and effective. But that's not all. We also provide construction. From building to renovation, we bring your vision to life. Landscaping, keep your outdoors looking sharp and inviting. Maintenance, repairs, upkeep, and everything in between. At Horatio Services, you get professionalism, reliability, and personal care. Whether it's safety or property support you need, visit us at Marino Street, Arima, or call 388-7070. Today, Horatio Services, protection, precision, peace of mind.
Oh yeah. Although leave out to watch con. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch con. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Richard planning wedding bells to ring, but Andrew got a secret thing. Best man supposed to stand by your side, not steal away your future bride. So Marie Kala, all them know, trust does break and hearts does go. At Queen's Hall Sunday night, August 10, 6:30, right? Benita Leslie Ann will show how betrayal steal the show. Deborah Messon directing true. This Trinity tale for me and you. You don't leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Oh yeah, that's a lesson we should all know.
Right, so I suppose we could get to our stream now, and we could, greet people in the stream. Not so, Wendell?
Yes, but before we do so, let me wish Colm Imbert happy birthday. He is celebrating his birthday today. Former minister, former chairman, now deputy political leader and member of parliament for Diego Martin Northeast. He is celebrating his birthday today, all right? So let's say greetings to Donna Ramlo Chan, who came in at 8:58 last night. She couldn't sleep. Suzanne Jessup at 12:07. Morning, Suzanne. Suzanne would have sent quite a bit of messages. She said today's show, of course, we have the chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Zakiya Wadada. She will be our guest in the second hour. Okay? Boy Bidesi from David, good morning. Brennan Smith from Goodwood. Wendy Ann and Frank James from Arangwes. Ava Smith also says good morning. Marlon Motley from North Valsain.
Morning, Marlon.
Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach.
Morning, Robert.
Melissa from Chamflair. Slick Money Grip. Doreen Pierre says happy hump day. Subash from Woodland. Ozzy Molino also says good morning. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr from Arima. Erica Charles. Diane Payne also says thanks Sherwin, or yes, all the time, God is good. Carol Guevara says good morning and happy hump day. Hill Bench, good morning. Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles. Margaret Thomas says good morning. Alistair Hart from San Fernando. Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale. Anne-Marie Watson from Maloney. Bernadette Yates, Bernadette and Nelicia Yates. Odell Guy from Sangre Grande. Gavin Frank from Powder Magazine. Suzanne says, okay, keep Trinbago culture alive. Diane Payne also praising the tune. Carl Guevara says, beautiful song. Lambert Bruce from El Dorado on vacation in Philadelphia. Diane Payne, okay. Michael Sankofa says, bountiful graces and blessings. Africans unite. That's probably a good poll too. Rena Buru Jennings says good morning. Ava Smith, yes, Sir Charles, Mother Africa and Mother Trinidad and Tobago is high positive energy. Positive energy from Ava Smith. Oliver Manwaring says good morning, guys. Have a wonderful day. Alistair Hart is also praising David Mohammed. We need to have him on more often. I saw your message yesterday, Alistair Hart, about bringing him as a third host. David Mohammed is a whole show by himself, trust me. And he has a show here every Tuesday afternoon. So you all can tune into that on Tuesday afternoons. CJ from New York, good morning, everyone. You have a wonderful day.
Morning, CJ.
Ron DeSantis Jr. from Norfolk, Virginia. My OnlyFans username, just look up. I actually had my email address as Jean-Luc. You know, there's the star, is it star? Jean-Luc Picard, you know that guy, Richard? You remember Jean-Luc Picard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had an R where the pick was. I added in an R, and that was my email address for years. Figure it out. Mrs. R says, good morning already.
You actually use that as your email address?
That was my email address for years. I still use it sometimes.
Oh,
and I'm ready.
there's a backup.
Yeah, that is a backup.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Satkofa said it is African Emancipation. We know that. We confirmed that yesterday. It is African Emancipation. Alistair Hart, we listen, we don't judge. Ava Smith, we listen, we don't judge. Okay, Oliver repeats here. Katian Charles says good morning. Magic also says grand rising to the breakfast crew. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Garfield Hazel says good morning. Just a nice guy. Trinbagonians, we have to give kudos to Dr. Eric Williams for our ability many times to punch above our weight, a great legacy. Indeed it is. Sherwin.
Oh my God, yeah.
Rukura. I know that name. I remember that name. Audio and video crystal clear in 1080p on YouTube. All right, thank you. It's also clear on YouTube. All right. Estelita Sampson, it started since 6 a.m. I told Charlesy. You have a sweet name for your boy?
Yeah.
Charlesy, you know.
Charlesy. When you say Charlesy.
All right. A lot of these are repeats. Ram Naresh finally came back in after missing for a few days. We as a country have to be thankful for the Black Power movement in 1970 for the representation of Black people, despite the government we had at the time. As a result of that movement, people got equality. Carlisle Cooper says, blessings all. Jasodra Ram Kalawan, Eric. All right. Unseen Hands, Grand Rising, folks. Julia Batiste, good morning. Robert Harper, good morning. Jude Khan, good morning. All of these are repeats. Carla Cupid said hearing former PM Stuart Young was so refreshing. He was on that press conference yesterday with the opposition. I was very happy to see him be part of that. Ambrose Blas says good morning, the crew. He means good morning. Lennox Francois also says good morning. And Mrs. R continuously messages me on a morning and say my breath of fresh air. I don't know why she does that. And Richard Wright.
Whatever you need to do to boost your confidence, because you have a toe show later.
A big toe?
10 toes show later.
But are you finished there?
Yes, I'm done. Only Anthony Atwell came in at the last minute. All right. That's it.
So let me say good morning to Valerie and up early this morning. Also to Colin over there in Carnage, dressed quite nicely in his African garb. Good morning to Kent in Laventille. Oliver Manwaring, good morning to you. Archbishop Ashton Clark out there in Canada, good day to you. Right, Mr. Billy out there in Powder Magazine, good day to you. Mark, Mr. Beeps down in Pity Valley, good day. Miss Sampson in San Fernando, sunny San Fernando, right? Anselm, good morning to you. Erica, good morning to you. And good morning to Horatio, who's a little under the weather these days, but wish you all the best, my friend. And that is it for now, Wendell.
All right, those are all our greetings. So I guess we could do headlines. Richard, you have all the papers?
Yeah, but I have Newsday on my phone, so I'll go through Newsday. So the Newsday for today, and of course, today is the 30th of July, 2025. One more day in a month, which is tomorrow. And the main headlines, according to the Newsday, Alexander warns human traffickers they will be found and prosecuted. Arima man charged for Valencia teen's murder. A Trinidad and Tobago credit union robbery. Young budding building 13 worked under my watch. A judge rules out arbitration for unpaid. Oh my God, it keeps shifting. A judge rules out arbitration for unpaid CLICO commissions pensions. AG, I checked up on detainees. Prisoner Raji Ali wants own food and books closed at Army Base Prison. And that's it for the Newsday today. And we could do the Trinidad and Tobago Express rundown.
Yeah, I'll do the Express. Today's Express online edition. 0 marks for ASJA student sparks court battle. Emancipation Support Committee hits back at minister's release. And we are going to be speaking with the head of the Emancipation Support Committee in the next hour, Ms. Zakiya Wadada. Kalisa's avoidable tragedy, outrage over Idle Bridge, and that is a very sad story. This young lady who ran off the road and ended up in the water and drowned in a car. And I mean, they said they were trying to get her out for an hour before help came, and they said that it's just the villagers who tried to help her. The authorities who came actually after an hour, you could imagine you're trapped in a car in water.
Within that time, a whole hour, nobody with that
yeah,
high up.
it was sad. It was sad here in the accounts of that incident. Very sad. I hope they do something by that bridge almost immediately. Don't wait. No funds could be enough to fix that. Young mom identified as river crash victim. Villagers tried to save her, but we just spoke about. Woman sexually assaulted, family beaten during Barrackpore home invasion. Those are all stories trending in today's Express.
All right, and in the Guardian for today, AG on prisoner complaints about conditions at Tetron Barracks. This is not the Hayat. Lawyers for Rajiv accused state of plotting to kill him. PM Kamala defends cop's appointment, the Commissioner of Police. And Vincent Nelson loses legal fee kickback conviction appeal. That's some of the stories in the Guardian. This Vincent Nelson thing, that Richard, that could be a whole movie to it.
Movie alone? Yeah. Movie alone? Crazy.
Somebody should start putting these things in that kind of form so the public could actually understand that the whole scenario of these things. And
this country just going through accusations among every change of government is a whole fresh set of accusations just coming. That's what we're doing in this country now. And then you one or two little cosmetic charges or raid here and raid here, and that's it. That is it. Now we're hearing how much criminal gangs, how much threats to rocket launcher. What's going to come out of that? Zero. I will bet you any amount of money. I'll bet you all my fish. I think my fish must be worth more than anything now. I don't give people ideas. But I'll bet you nothing coming out of all this nonsense that you're hearing about corruption here and corruption there and ghost gang here, and it's a cycle of our politics now. It's almost and so Charles, you're right. In our little discussion this morning, I don't think people really worried about a coup or an attempt at a coup here again. I don't think the general population even concerned by what the people saying in Parliament and what they're saying about a prisoner behind bars for the last 10 years and all this power he wielded. I really don't think the population even remotely concerned about what's being said, People just going about the daily business, I really don't think people concerned, and it's wearing you down. because you would have heard they talk about the corruption under Mr. Manning, about the Calder Hat and all kind of thing, right? The People's Partnership coming to power, nothing. You would have heard about the corruption in under the People's Partnership, right? About them being the most corrupt government. The PNM under Dr. Rowley came in, nothing. Now you're hearing about corruption under the Rowley administration. Guess what's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing. All of it. I'm fed up of politics and politicians now. Fed up.
Yeah. So let me just give a little update as to what's happening. I just spoke with the tech, and apparently it is a problem with Flow, and they are working on it. They are resetting stuff, and hopefully we should have it for all our TV viewers. The audio should start to be a little better shortly, right? So it's not on our end, it's on a Flow's end.
But somebody also said Amplia, not so?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody also said that.
Flow has been given trouble for the last few days by me here in Arima. It's been
but I don't
buffering
know
a lot.
if it goes to Flow and then goes to the others. I don't know how it's routed.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so
we can open up the lines at this point. We can open up the lines at this point, and wonder if you could send me the poll in the group. But we can open up the lines at this point, 281-1315. This is where you get interactive with us as we head towards 7 o'clock and the morning poll. And of course, we have Zakiya Uzoma-Wadada in the next hour. She's, of course, the executive chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee, if you did not know. And of course, a lot's going on in terms of what they do in the celebration of emancipation, African Emancipation Day every year. And what challenges and what successes they have. We'll be discussing all of that in the next hour. So you should look forward to that. And I know there are some issues. I think Michelle Sylvester would have said some stuff in Parliament, and the Emancipation Support Committee is challenging that. What was said. Was it Michelle Sylvester, Mandel? Michelle Benjamin. Saint Sylvester. Why am I saying Sylvester? Michelle Benjamin.
The minister.
The artist.
Yeah. So Michelle Benjamin said some stuff in Parliament that would reference the Emancipation Support Committee, and of course they've taken a certain level of umbrage to what she said. So we have all of that in the next hour. But right now, we're speaking to you. So this is your opportunity to call us at this point and talk with us concerning and putting up the numbers there. So it's 281-1315, 281-1315.
Yeah. DL, thanks for reminding me there was an 8.8 earthquake that sparked a tsunami across some of the countries.
Tsunami warning, tsunami warning and advisories.
Yes. A lot of countries are now under tsunami watch.
Yeah. I know it was the west coast of the United States, Hawaii, parts of Alaska, and parts of Japan and stuff like that. It was off the coast of Russia, I think it was.
Off the coast of Russia, yes.
Yeah.
8.8, that's plenty,
Yes, I think they recorded it as the second largest in quite a while. I think I was reading that. You see, when you're up all hours in the morning and have nothing to do and can't sleep.
This was in the top. It was in 6th place.
Somewhere at the top, but the very top in terms of size of earthquake for a while.
6th place in terms of major earthquake, isn't it?
I can't remember the number, but you might be right.
All right, so we have callers online. Let's take them. Caller, morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning,
Lincoln.
Just now the sycophants are going to jump out and tell you about God sending a warning. Right?
So why gotta be a sycophant to tell you that?
Yeah, so
get a 5 minutes again. Just now we'll jump out.
So you don't think God's sending a warning?
Well, you have a God sycophant from time to time with the green background there, but he erratic because sometimes he's showing tone and sometimes he's talking God.
No, I speak God. I know about God. My
Anyway, gentlemen,
erratic behavior is as a result of some Christians. Yeah, but is it as a result of God?
Lincoln, go ahead.
I noticed something. I think we need to remain. I'm starting to understand the state of emergency. And I think if you hear me saying that, it's sounding strange. I think we need to remain in a constant state of emergency. I'll explain why. I have never seen so many, the police, I've never seen the police working. When I say working, I mean, I've never seen so much roadblocks being conducted in this country. Say that again, Randall?
Are you joking?
No, I'm serious. I've never seen so many roadblocks. I
ain't see one yet since the state of emergency, so I know where you
no,
going.
I come up with matter of fact, so much so that I got a ticket on Monday for no seatbelt. Right?
Come on now, man, Lincoln.
Yeah. You know what? I mind the ticket because I am glad just to see police working. Right? Kunupia police station still coming. The police there still just coming out the station and doing a roadblock right in front of the station. They ain't going away. Them only coming out the station and right in front of the station. They might do a little two people. I see two police standing up. But I'm pleased to see. It seems like a state of emergency is really for the police to activate the police because I don't see them.
Because you get a ticket, the whole country must live in a state of emergency. Because you get a ticket.
Yeah.
What again?
You get a ticket because you get a ticket, so you forget the working, so the state of emergency must continue.
No.
Come back, yes. You need to go and come back. You need to go and come back. We save this for special people, so you're getting it.
Yeah. Look, you get on the screen, you see it?
I see nothing yet.
Oh, Lord.
Look at the program later, you go see.
Lincoln is no problem.
But that's it. I'm glad to see the police working and we are now seeing it.
Some police cut you out.
Bullshit.
Police cut you just so you come on radio now.
Bullshit.
Listen, this one, Lincoln. Listen, go ahead, John.
Bullshit.
Oh, gosh.
We ain't playing on this program, Lincoln.
Taking no prisoners.
I got stopped. I was in a roadblock. I did get stopped. The police officer stopped me. And I put on my window and I smiled at her and she said, hi. And she said, hi. She said, I only stopped you because I recognize you. I love your plays. You have a good night. I said, thank you.
Look, take the call. I love that one, Richard. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, Frontier Center. Hey, your Minister of National Security, Sturge, has he verified or
he's not
apologized, not just to the general public, but even to the hardworking and the honest prison officers for that piece of drama and sensationalism about that 64-inch TV being in a prisoner's cell? I mean, that's the highest level of irresponsibility. And you know, the more I look at it, I think, I'm sorry, guys, I don't carry water for PNM or UNC. I just carry water for truth. And I tell you what, man, it looks as though they are more concerned about sensationalism and graphics, for a better choice of words, in doing government. Did he give any update on that situation?
No,
but so what you were saying? You were saying there was what you were saying? There was no TV
in a prisoner
cell. You were
cell.
saying that there was a TV in a cell, a 64-inch TV in a cell, and you know. And here's the thing about it: you publicly say the masterminds behind this national security issue, right? You put them in Tetron, you realize that there's a saying in Trinidad, everybody lives in a corner house. There's only 1 million plus people there. So you have now exposed individuals within the defense force, our last line of defense for internal or external threats, right? You've now put some of our military in jeopardy. And that's why you see where in El Salvador, which has the high mark for how they handle criminals out there. You know, right now the stats show that they have the lowest drop in crime than any country in the world. Anyone wants to challenge me on that?
Yes.
I mean, you want to? Who?
No, you're not challenging it. You're right.
Yeah.
But
So when you're talking about
Virginia,
being fascists and so on, like these little idiots on the colleges out here, right, and so on, and especially is normally those white kids from privileged society are the ones in the forefront saying they're standing up for justice and all of that, right? You find them doing that, right? Challenging, whether it's ICE or whether it's federal agents or whether it is whoever, right, about covering their faces. That's right. The world is now the global village, right? But anyway, that's my 2 cents to it. So I'll calm down now. Have a good day.
I think even the AG commented that they had to intercept drones down at Tetron. Did he say that?
I heard something like that. But also, did you hear that there was no TV? Did you all get that?
No. The prisons commissioner, two former prisons commissioner, confirmed there is a TV in the lobby area, in the corridor, that the prisoners can see from their cell, but it's not in a cell, and that's been there for years.
Okay, so that's what Virginia was talking about.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. You see, the minister made it sound like if the 65-inch TV was something new and was snuck in and is in a prisoner cell. That's how he made it. That's how he brought it over. You understand?
Right.
It was a little fear-mongering, but that's all right. We come to expect that now in politics.
Yeah, I remember once we did American Dance for the prisoners. Was it at Golden Grove? I think it was at Golden Grove. We did an excerpt of American Dance, but we did it virtually, almost like a reading, but of course the actors weren't reading because we know the play so well. Mm-hmm. And we did like excerpts from it, and it was broadcast on a big screen, and the prisoners were just watching us act it out, but virtually. We're not in the same place,
right?
But like we were reading. And if you see how they carried on of American Dance, we just did excerpts from it, but they loved it. They loved it. The prison service had asked us. I think it was organized with, was it Lisa Wickham at the time?
Oh, that's a while now.
Yeah, I can't remember for what it was exactly, but they enjoyed that performance, and we were just American Dance, but we did excerpts of it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's take this caller before we get to the poll.
Sir Charles, morning.
Good morning.
Wendell, morning. Richard, good morning. So when the Friday's interview with the Commissioner of Prisons with on TV6, when the prison, I didn't know there was television in prison at all. But when the commissioner said there were 5 televisions in another block, and then this one was in the rec room or somewhere near, she said, that is overchief. She said, but a 65-inch television, I mean, all of them have that same size. And the commissioner of police or the prison was like, well, they are in the cells. If you put a 32-inch, how they could watch that? How many people could see a 32-inch screen? So, but I still find 65 too small, because if it's a prison, they're not around the dining table like when we are home. They sit down in a cell watching, so everybody wants a glimpse of everything. So the 65-inch, if it's too big, if it's too small, it should be bigger for everybody to look. So this, the minister who said that, and the prime minister, she said it again on Monday during that debate there, and it wasn't true. And everybody just leave it like that. The prison commissioner, to me, was feeling hurt and annoyed and everything in that conversation I heard from him. And nobody seemed to want to correct that situation that there was no television in the cell. So you all have a good morning. Bye.
Yeah. Well, it's the minister who said it and who made it sound so dramatic. Who needs to fix that? He had to fix that.
Yeah, because once you say it and the prison commissioner and them clear their side of it, but people in politics don't have don't come back and clear up anything. If they're wrong, they just leave it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
They don't ever say, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, and the information that was given to me was that, so yeah.
But when they say it in Parliament, they're made to correct it. If you know what I mean? I don't think he said it in Parliament. He didn't say it in Parliament. But in Parliament, you're made to correct it, especially if somebody objects and brings you before the Privileges Committee. You understand?
Yeah. And I didn't hear the opposition pick it up either. I don't know.
No, I haven't heard them respond to that. Maybe they did, but I haven't heard any response. But let me tell you something. Social media, especially when one of the newspapers put out something on social media, the kind of crazy comments you see, of course, by unknown people, you understand, and people who obviously change their names, you'll be amazed how everything becomes political and racial. Every single thing becomes political and racial. You understand? It is amazing.
Well, let's do the poll.
Yeah. Of course, our poll this morning concerns all that we have been discussing. We would have just celebrated the 35th anniversary of the attempted coup. Are you concerned about another attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago? Right? Some people are, some people clearly are not. Right? We want to find out what our listeners think. Are you concerned about another attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago? And this always comes about, 4 days before our African Emancipation Day celebrations. You understand?
And that is
July 27th.
Yeah, July 27th.
And by August 1st, they're celebrating in the streets. I love Trinidad and Tobago. And Sir Charles truck does always have the biggest following. People just remember. I don't know if you have a truck this year.
No truck.
If you have a truck this year, I might come out with it.
No truck this year.
No truck this year.
Nobody to pay for the truck.
Nobody to pay for the truck. Well, that's it for me. I will go buy rum box and hang that day. All right, you ready for votes, Richard?
Yeah. Oh my God.
No. Miguel Gonzalez, no. Kazim Mohammed, yes. Gregory Boyer, no. Diane Payne, yes. Michael Oliver, no. Simad.
Wait. Just now. Start again.
Mrs. R, no. Miguel Gonzalez, no. Kazim Mohammed, yes. Gregory Boyer, no. Diane Payne, yes. Michael Oliver, no. Simad, no. Magic, yes. Jude Khan, yes. Ava Smith, no. Claire Lender Rollins, no. Beauty Culture didn't vote. Mrs. R voted already. Victor Tong saying not really, that's not a vote. Susan Jessup, no. Helen Prescott, no. Ricardo Jeffers, no. Michael Robinson, no. Wayne Joseph, yes. Slick Money Grip, no. Beauty Culture, yes. Jason Samuel, no. Joyce Phillip, yes. Terrence Roach, no. Brennan Smith, yes. Claudette Noel, morning Claudette, no. Felix Cazo, yes. Carol Guevara, no. Lennox Francois, no. All right, we have exactly 30 seconds again. Victor Tongs voted no now. And Donna Ramlochan also say no. Ron DeSantis Jr. saying no. Kurt Hope, no. All right, so are you concerned about another attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago? That's our poll this morning. We'll find that most people really not really concerned, but there, of course, some people are. All right? Magic, I didn't see your voters yet, because I know you expressed an opinion early on when we were talking.
Right. So we continue to vote throughout the news and the commercials and stuff. So when we come back, we will have all of your votes. So right now we go to the news at 7 o'clock.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is news now. On New Era TT Radio, I'm Derek. Police Commissioner Alistair Cavero has presented a bold strategic vision to tackle crime across Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar made the announcement during Monday's debate on the extension of the state of emergency, revealing that the plan has been shared with Cabinet and is awaiting approval and resources. The plan includes the creation of a rapid response strike team to target firearms, kidnappings, and gang violence, the expansion of crime analysis units, a boost to investigative divisions using advanced forensic and surveillance tools. The Prime Minister said the national operation be placed under police command for real-time response, and broken CCTV systems will be replaced to better capture vehicle license plates. Other highlights include mobile police units for high-traffic areas, a reformed witness protection program, the return of community comfort patrols, consultations on stand-your-ground legislation, and the absorption of 800 SRPs and auxiliary officers. Persad-Bissessar described the approach as intelligence-driven, community-focused, and results-oriented. King's Counsel Vincent Nelson has lost a second appeal, challenging his 2019 conviction for corruption in Trinidad and Tobago's high-profile legal fee kickback scandal. A three-member Court of Appeal panel, Justices Nolan Barreau, James Aboud, and Jeffrey Henderson, dismissed Nelson's appeal, citing an unjustified delay in filing it. Delivering the ruling, Justice Henderson said the court found no satisfactory or convincing reasons for the lengthy delay. Nelson pleaded guilty in 2019 to corruption charges after alleging that former Attorney General Anand Ram Logan demanded 10% of his state legal fees, with attorney Gerald Ramdeen acting as intermediary. He entered a plea deal with the DPP in exchange for testifying against them. But Nelson later refused to testify while he pursued lawsuits against the state, claiming breaches of a confidential indemnity agreement with then AG Faris Al-Rawi. The case against Ram Logan and Ramdeen was discontinued in 2022, pending Nelson's cooperation. Nelson remains in the UK, serving out his sentence through fines and bond conditions. The Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago is pushing back hard against claims made by Culture Minister Michelle Benjamin, calling her ministry's recent release inaccurate, disrespectful, and damaging. In the three-page statement, the committee says it has always met strict accountability standards, including audited accounts, annual reports, and festival reviews, all acknowledged by the ministry. The ESCTT says the Emancipation Festival, which now costs TT $6 million to stage, receives only 20% government funding, and called for a multi-year line-item allocation to ensure better planning and visibility. They also defended the $40 entry fee and rejected claims of poor promotion or weak diaspora collaboration, saying the festival continues to grow in impact, reach, and cultural importance. The committee warned that African heritage should not be something to plead for annually and described the ministry's tone as harmful during a time of national celebration. The culture minister's comments have also been blasted by former ministers, with Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly calling them disrespectful and out of timing, and Randall Mitchell labeling them insensitive and embarrassing. Attorneys for murder accused and alleged gang leader Raji Ali are pressing the Commissioner of Prisons to confirm whether Ali can receive his own food, clothing, and toiletries, while being held at the Teteran Army Base in Chaguaramas. Ali was transferred from the maximum security prison on July 18th, the same day a state of emergency was declared over an alleged inmate plot to assassinate top justice, police, and prison officials. Attorney Karan Ramkalwan says Ali has not eaten since the transfer, fearing the food provided could be poisoned. He also claims Ali has been denied family contact, exercise, and basic necessities. Ali is now challenging the legality of his transfer and the conditions of his detention, arguing they violate constitutional rights and prison rules. The matter is set for hearing on September 5th. Meanwhile, the emergency powers regulations have been updated to allow Teteran and other military facilities to operate as approved detention centers. Ali was also recently charged for allegedly possessing contraband in prison, including a mobile phone and SIM card. In regional news, in a landmark decision, St. Lucia's High Court has struck down colonial-era laws criminalizing buggery and gross indecency, declaring them unconstitutional and out of step with modern democratic values. Justice Francis H. Innocent ruled that Sections 132 and 133 of the Criminal Code violated fundamental rights under St. Lucia's Constitution, including privacy, liberty, and protection from discrimination. Now interpreted to include sexual orientation, the legal challenge was led by the Eastern Caribbean Alliance for Diversity and Equality. ECADE Executive Director Kenita Placide called the ruling deeply personal and a vital recognition of LGBTQ+ St. Lucians' rights. This is the fourth court victory for ECADE across the region, following similar judgments in Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Barbados. While rarely enforced, and now defunct laws contributed to widespread stigma and violence. Activists hope this ruling sparks momentum in other Caribbean territories still clinging to discriminatory statutes. In international news, a serving police officer is among 4 people killed in a tragic shooting at an office building on Park Avenue in New York City. Didarul Islam, 36, a Bangladesh-born father of 2 and security guard, was fatally shot while protecting the building. He died a hero, said Mayor Eric Adams, praising Islam for doing what he does best, saving lives. His wife is currently pregnant with their 3rd child. Another victim, Wesley LePatner, an executive at finance giant Blackstone, was remembered as brilliant, passionate, and deeply respected by the company. 2 other men were also killed, and a 5th victim, an NFL employee, remains in critical condition. The suspected shooter, 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Nevada, reportedly had a history of mental illness. Authorities say he killed Islam at the building's entrance before moving to the 33rd floor and taking his own life. The motive remains unclear, and investigations are ongoing. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with new Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Men, women, tired of the invasive, painful old methods of testing prostate and breasts?
The Institute of Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Center offers comprehensive and non-invasive diagnostic testing, which indicates the nature and extent of diseases and tests your nutritional levels. Our quick testing can identify early signs of problems by evaluating many of the bodily functions, such as male and female sexual function, gastrointestinal function, liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, heart and brain function, and also cancer testing. Results are comparable with other medical lab tests without the use of needles or embarrassing specimen cups, and is pain-free. We also offer all natural treatments. Visit us now at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna, or call 492-7397 or 289-6363.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
edge and across the border. Hold on, chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 bang to bang and Sayamanda, from California to Philadelphia, sweet soul music down Louisiana. We don't. Tell your mama, tell your papa, sweet soul music down Louisiana. We don't. From Trinidad to North Carolina. Hold on. Nigeria to Richmond, Virginia. Hold on. Chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love.
Morning vibe, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Ring the bell for freedom, ring the bell for justice, and ring the bell for New Era TT Radio. Yes, welcome inside a brand new hour, and we're happy to be here with you on New Era TT Radio. Of course, just to give you a little idea what's happening inside of the Drive Time Exchange with Tony Fraser as we're talking emancipation. Well, Tony will start that discussion today on the Drive Time Exchange with his guests, Olabisi Kobuni and Dara Healy, asking the questions what has the outcomes of emancipation brought? Has full emancipation being achieved? Exactly what is outstanding. So you can join Tony Fraser and his guests at 4 p.m. inside of the Drive Time Exchange. And of course, for all you folks on YouTube and Facebook, that will be your next engagement on the platforms at around 4 o'clock, okay? So keep it connected, and remember, continue to vote, because when we come back, we will give you the results. So let's take some commercials and come back.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Looking for trusted, affordable security and property services? Horatio Services has you covered across Trinidad and Tobago. We offer battle security, K9 patrols, 24/7 protection, and all sorts of private investigations, discreet, professional, and effective. But that's not all. We also provide construction. From building to renovation, we bring your vision to life. Landscaping, keep your outdoors looking sharp and inviting. Maintenance, repairs, upkeep, and everything in between. At Horatio Services, you get professionalism, reliability, and personal care. Whether it's safety or property support you need, visit us at Marino Street, Arima, or call 388-7070. Today, Horatio Services, protection, precision, peace of mind.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newera@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Oh yeah. Although leave out to watch con. That's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch con. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Richard planning wedding bells to ring, but Andrew got a secret thing. Best man supposed to stand by your side, not steal away your future bride. So Marie Kala, all them know, trust does break and hearts does go. At Queen's Hall Sunday night, August 10th, 6:30, right? Benita Leslie Ann will show how betrayal steal the show. Deborah Messon directing true. This Trinity tale for me and you. You don't leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Oh yeah, that's a lesson we should all know.
Richard, is Benita the young lady from the beginning of the Married and Mischievous? Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
That's it.
Yeah. Now place a
Good
name.
observation, Wendell. Good observation. I said good observation.
Yeah, that size. I can't miss that size.
Yeah, of course, we're now closing off the poll, so I'll just bring it back up. Our poll for this morning. So I can just take the final votes before we get into our interview.
Yeah. Are you concerned about another attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago? We will start from Pearl Cordis. Morning, Miss Pearl. She says no. Carlisle Cupid, no. Anne Noel, no. Margaret Thomas, no. Marlon Motley, no. Anne-Marie Watson, no. Beauty Culture didn't vote, yes. And Beauty Culture, that's a distinct fail. Mrs. R, where are we? All right. Cheryl Henry, hell no. DL says no. Valerie Mendoza, no. Kelcher Cambridge, no. Alistair Hart, no. Carl M. Jack, no. Susan Jessup did not vote. She didn't vote here. And Maureen Dilchan Maharaj also says no. All right. So those are the votes. I don't know if Sir Charles has any.
Yes, I do. So Long Islander says no. Pauline says no. Sexy Reds says no. Kenwin Henry out there, Indigo Martin says no. Joseph Clement, no. Horatio says yes. Archbishop Ashton Clark says no. Sean Ram says no. And Anand, who we have not seen for a little while, says no.
Hi, Mr. Ram Logan, morning. I just teasing.
All right, so this morning, are you concerned about another attempted coup in Trinidad and Tobago? We had 52 people voting on the poll this morning. Of the 52 people that voted, 42 of you said no, you are not concerned about another attempted coup. 10 of you said yes, you are. So the nays have it for this morning. The vast majority saying no, they are not concerned about that. And that ends our poll for this morning. So the poll is now done.
Yeah. I would have counted your vote already, Beauty Culture. But if you comment after, in the chat, and I didn't see a vote. I would say you're not voting. All right. So Lyndon also voted yes, and of course Michael Grandison. But the poll is over, folks. Richard done crumpled that paper. I don't know what
I don't know what to go two votes again for. If from the time I crumple that paper, that's it. It's done.
You know, people has got little.
Then they are late. It's done. Right. So we have our guest meeting. We have our guest meeting in the green room already, so we could get straight into our interview with Zakiya Uzoma-Wadada, Executive Chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee. She's standing by. That interview is next.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Wadada.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks
so much for joining us on the Breakfast Show this morning. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Yes, thank you so much too. Yes.
All right, of course.
I've been looking at you all, so I'm very pleased with what Sir Charles has done with this platform. Yes, you know, so congratulations to him and to both of you on the work that you all have been doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He has done an excellent job.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Of course, in the next couple of days will be African Emancipation Day. It was so deemed, I think, officially last year. Not so, Ms. Wadada?
Yes, by the former Prime Minister, yes.
Yes, African Emancipation Day. All right. So, I mean, we have to start off with the issue at hand, where the Minister of Culture, the Honorable Michelle Benjamin, would have sent out a media statement criticizing, if for want of a better word, the Emancipation Support Committee over the years. How do you respond to that? I know you have already responded, but give us your response here on air, where you'll cover a lot more people than you would have covered before.
Yeah, so we did indicate in the press release that we have issued as an organization, and really I want us to see that as the organization's response. We do think that, I do not know on what information those conclusions were drawn, but we have worked with, you know, governments over the years, both UNC and the PNM, and we've never had any such issues or such sentiments expressed about the organization. So indeed, of course, it was very, very concerning to us, you know, because we have worked really, really hard to do the work that we do. And we do think that the work that we have been doing has had a tremendous impact on our society. It has had a tremendous impact on Africans in the society. It was needed, it was necessary. And with respect to accountability, I do not think that, you know, anyone can even suggest that, you know, we don't do that. I mean, we might be one of the few organizations that have their audited accounts updated up to 2023. We have our annual returns, all of our legal requirements and reporting with all our supporting documents are done annually to any institution that requires such. We have worked with organizations such as the European Union. In addition to, we have an annual contract with the Republic Bank, which supports our annual African History Quiz and spoken word competition. And no, we have never ever had no one has ever had any concern with us about how we have used the funds and what have been the outcome of the use of those funds. Annually, I mean, we don't even have to, everyone can see what is done with the funds. I mean, of course, there is so much more that can be done, but for more to be done, of course, we have to have a greater injection of resources. But I do think with the limited resources and funds that we've had, we have done amazing work, you know, and whereas many in the society still see our annual festival just as Emancipation Day, I think it's important to remind our citizens that the celebration of emancipation in Trinidad and Tobago by the Emancipation Support Committee begins on the 25th of May, an African Liberation Day, where we launched the festival. And following the launch of the festival, our first event is Iwa Africa, which is a fashion show. And I think people must understand every single thing that we do is linked to our purpose of reconnection, empowerment, and transformation of Africans in the society first, and then, of course, by extension, the society as a whole. So when we do a fashion show, it's not just because we are thinking about fashion and people dressing in clothes. It's about re-establishing within the minds of our people and the society as a whole that Africans are beautiful, that what we wear is acceptable and also beautiful. Because we know that there was a time that you would not see Africans wearing African clothes. And in those early days when we did, we were given a lot of, you were scared and want to know what was wrong with you, and, you know. But the fact is that we have now accepted dressing in our African traditional garments or different manifestations of that as fashion, but that African aesthetic. You know, we are showing and believing that that is also beautiful. That's the reason for doing that. So all of that is part of the healing process of us and our psyche with respect to how we view ourselves and things African. Yeah. And then following our fashion show, yes, we also we have a Yoruba Village Drum Festival. And that drum festival takes place specifically in what we consider an at-risk community. East Dry River, we call it now, but it was originally called the Yoruba Village. And the reason why we bring the drum festival there is in tribute to our ancestors. Because those persons who came to the Yoruba Village came as free Africans rescued from European ships by the English, who had by then ended the transatlantic slave trade. But of course, time they got onto even though they were free Africans, of course, their lives were not very different from those that were enslaved because of the time, right? So we celebrate our ancestors. We use that space to celebrate our ancestors, and we bring drummers from all across the country. And the most beautiful component of that is that all of the drummers and dancers who come to that space offer their performance. It is not a paid performance for them. We reward them, of course, by ensuring they have a paid performance in the village. But what we do in the Yoruba village is, again, an offering. Our young people experiencing that spiritual part of themselves by playing their drums and just feeling it just for the joy of doing it. You know, that has a tremendous impact on our young people. And anyone who comes to that drum festival will let you know the beauty of it and how it impacts young people. Because the majority of people who participate in the drum festival are young people. So we do impact very, very significantly the lives of our young people through their culture. And I know it's a lot, but I see it's important for me to say these things because of what was implied by the same press release, you see? So following the drum festival, we start our launch of our Kwame Ture Memorial Lecture Series. And the purpose of that, of course, is education and discussion, the issues of our time. This year, we paid tribute to Frantz Fanon because this year he celebrated the 100th anniversary. So we were focusing on the issues of decolonization, of our education, of our spaces, the importance of reparations. Those were the themes of the lecture series this year. And then just before we opened the village on the 24th of July, we held a global conference in collaboration with the Caribbean Pan-African Network, of which our organization is the secretariat. And we worked out with the African Union Economic, Social, and Cultural Committee. We held our global Africa People-to-People Forum, speaking to our connection, not only with our region, but also internationally. And then on the 25th of July, we now open this massive village, which hosts over 200 entrepreneurs. And for 8 days, each and every day, we have entertainment of young people from all over Trinidad and Tobago coming to the village. You understand? And while we are doing that, we are also sending persons to speak at different emancipation celebrations or providing them with educational or material that is going to enhance their celebration. All of the different spaces, or the fact that we have so many spaces and schools celebrating emancipation now is based on the work of the Emancipation Support Committee. You know?
No, Ms. Wadada, I mean, I can testify to all what you're saying.
Yes.
And I know it's a lot of work and it's a lot of hard work because I mean, just the infrastructure alone to get this going has cost something. But you would have
cost millions of dollars, my brother. That's what it costs. You know that.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing the same.
Yeah.
But understand what it costs. Yes.
You know what's amazing to me is that something that is so important in terms of the celebration of the history of the African diaspora in Trinidad and Tobago is still challenged and has to argue for funding. I find that incredulous.
Yes.
I find that incredulous. And has to be the subject of remarks. I mean, you were very diplomatic in your response, I must admit.
Yeah, because the idea, you see, we understand the climate in which we are, Wendell and Richard. Our intention is not to spur and become involved in political bantering. Our intention is when we, and you know, based on how you respond to things, people either pay attention to what you are trying to say, which is they take the information, or they pay attention to how you respond. So sometimes based on how you respond, the how becomes the issue.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than what you are trying to express. So yes, it was measured. Because what I want not only is that the message is not only to our ministry, because we have spoken about it and we have said those same things, but I also wanted our society, whose minds, because we don't have people in the society who share some of those sentiments without having a full understanding of the work of the organization. A lot of persons don't. So they do feel that we pop up every emancipation, you know, and that we just pop up and ask for money and these absurd things, you know. But as you say, Wendell and Richard, persons who are around and who pay attention, you know, our former Director of Education, Tracy Wilson, my brother, who has transitioned, he used to always say, those of us who are minding our business know different.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
You know, and therefore, but we have to tell. So what I did, what our response was not to trigger a tit for tat. No, it was to state our case. This is what the ESC does.
Yes.
This is what we do. Of course we are hurt. Of course we are pained. Of course it made us angry. All of those emotions are part of a natural response. But then we can't always respond from a space of emotion. You have to respond sometimes to deliver the message. And that is what we are hoping that our response did. It delivered the message. And so that the misconceptions and misperceptions hopefully would have been addressed.
So let me ask this question, Ms. Wadada. You would have had, as I say, you would have had the opportunity to tour the African Emancipation Village with the Honorable Minister, Ms. Benjamin. Would you have had the opportunity to speak to her about it? Because I'll be very brutally honest with you. I don't believe those are the minister's sentiments, her personal sentiments. That's my personal belief.
You don't believe
that those are her personal sentiments? I don't believe that. But I don't want to get you in anymore. I don't want to get you in any conflict.
Yes.
So, but
I want to say that we have spoken about it. We had because it was raised. The article came to our attention while we were on the tour. The Prime Minister had just left the village, and while we were on the tour, and I addressed it immediately. I know we expressed all of the emotions about it immediately, you know, and then we had a meeting the following day, you know, to really discuss the impact and so on. But again, I don't want to get in, as you're saying, to any further details with respect to that. But the ministry is very much aware of how we felt. We did get a personal apology about it at the moment. And therefore, we have, as we had in the beginning, because I don't know if anyone heard the minister's presentation at the launch. It was, a total different sentiment, you see? Yeah. So we did have our discussions. We have committed to working together as we move forward. And we want to look to see what that looks like as we move forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that because as I said, what about the that, because I remember going and meeting you down at Yoruba Square, Emancipation Square, down by Besson Street there.
Yeah, that's a Yoruba Square where we have the drum festival. You were there?
I was part of the city council then when I met you down there.
Yes, okay, yes, Mandel, yes.
People down there. Was it ever completed?
Yes, of course. Yes, the monument is there, the Yoruba Village Monument. Yes, and I mean, in the last decade for people of African descent, we have started a new one this year. Two of the most prominent things that happen in the society, in the city, the erection of a monument in front of the Treasury building to commemorate the space where the proclamation was read on Emancipation Day. And then we also did a Yoruba Village Monument. The first one was done after we called for it, we asked for it, and the then Ministry of Community Development and Culture, they sponsored it. The second one was built based on a visit of the head of Osun State on the continent. And when we took him to the Yoruba Village Drum Festival, he contributed some funding for us to do something to commemorate the space. And with that, and whatever other funds we were able to pull together, I really want to recognize the support of the Port of Spain City Corporation in making it a reality, and also East Port of Spain for development. That's how we were able to make that a reality. Of course, we did the beautiful young artists who did the sculpture, but we continue to maintain it, the Emancipation Support Committee. So every year or two, we have it cleaned, or if there's anything that goes wrong, we have taken the responsibility for maintaining that monument, to our people. So you must understand the efforts that we have made with very limited resources, my brother. We are small. People think we are part of the government. People think all kinds of things. We're a small non-government organization, a not-for-profit organization. And yes, we do struggle it's a long time. But even through those struggles, and I say with the blessings of our ancestors and the divine energies, we have been able to manifest, I think, many amazing things here in Trinidad and Tobago, within the region, and even in collaboration with the continent. This is an organization here in Trinidad and Tobago, So, of course, it hurts when you see those comments, which are not, I don't know where they come from, what's the source of them, what would make someone. And it's either people don't know, and a lot of people don't know. And therefore you start to, criticize, and why is it not relevant? Things like that. What makes it not relevant? It is extremely important. We're in the process of reparations and decolonization, and for us to do that, which is where I say that is the part of the emancipation process where we are. We now need to repair and we need to decolonize, because the reparations cannot come without the removement of that colonial state of mind that continues to make us view things African in a particular kind of way. That still exists, in the society, So we have to, and of course, movement takes place. Sometimes people say the right things, but the action, the things that you have to really do to make the change takes another step. Takes a little more time, So we get in the language in some cases. I heard the members of parliament giving, their greetings on Emancipation Day. So everybody is getting it. I mean, people are talking reparations and decolonization and enslavement and enslaved Africans and all of those right things in our parliament. We now have to translate those into a different kind of commitment, because we're not just celebrating emancipation, we are trying to positively impact the lives of almost 50% of the people of the population that have been negatively impacted. Yes. And today, we are still suffering, my brother. The majority of persons in our prisons are African people. The majority of people who you find living on the streets are African people. And therefore, and it's not because we all worthless and don't get it. Is not that. People don't see the connection between the enslavement, the colonization, the institutions that govern our lives, and how the economic system within which we live, and how that negatively impacts persons. I live in what they call at-risk community. And I live and watch every day so many youths. When the day come, all they do is walk the streets. They have maybe a $10 or something in their pocket. They have to go by the shop to see if they get a juice or a biscuit or something for their breakfast. And somebody comes and says, somebody who has so by whatever means, build something for themselves and figure out, listen, if I can't get through the way that they expect, I'm going to find a way to make it in this space, because we have put success to mean the acquisition of physical things. You see, success no longer, or what we call iwapele in our African tradition, about honesty and respect and loyalty. We have built a world where your value is determined by your physical acquisitions. And therefore, if a young person does not have any other form of reference, your religion has been taken away, your view of life as an African has been taken away, you don't have any African language, you're just in this space that was, and when you go to school, what they tell you about yourself is that you're a slave, because where your history starts. You see? So you don't have any sense of your greatness and your power and your spirituality. So therefore, you are just there floating. So then a young man somebody comes to you and say, I'll give you a little $500 because I want you to take out somebody. $500 to him. People will say to people, let's do that for $500. For somebody who have no money, $500 is a lot of money, because it might buy about 3 more breakfasts. Or you might be able to go in town and buy something that makes somebody feel that you are something. You see? And if we go so deep into the realities of the Africans in our society, and I'm not saying that they might not be the only one, because even maybe we may have some of our young people within the Indian community as well who feel so disconnected, but the majority that are feeling that way are Africans. You see? And we have to do something to help them. And it is our belief that the way to help them is to get them to know and understand the beauty and power of themselves, to get them to connect with their culture, for them to reconnect with self, so that they can become empowered, and then the transformation can take place, you know? Sorry, I'm just talking.
No, I'm listening. Because I'll tell you something.
It is deep and it is very serious.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of visiting Africa. I went to Ghana, and I've been to Senegal, and I've been to East. And I've seen the struggle of the people. But guess what? I've never seen a happier bunch of people than African people. You know?
Even here in Trinidad?
Well, in Trinidad, we might have relatives. But,
exactly.
But
at the end of the day, it's the nature of us as African people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they went through a similar struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the continent, and one of the most beautiful things is that on the continent there was a trend to kind of not want to deal with enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
Enslavement was something on which people on the continent felt very ashamed that their people had been through that.
Yes.
And therefore, even when you came up with decades of people of African descent and the reparations conversation, as we were interfacing with them, it was not something that they readily was open to. But because remember, The people of the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago in particular have led the Pan-African movement. These are things we do not tell our children. Yeah? George Padmore, Henry Sylvester Williams, etc. I mean, these are histories. If you talk that in anywhere, even on the continent, people know who you're talking about. If you ask the average child who is George Padmore, they don't know who that is. You know? And therefore, I'm saying, and we have so many others, I'm just calling two names for now, who have been struggling and who are very well known on the continent for their efforts. You know, Haiti led the revolution against enslavement and was the first colonial state to free itself. And I mean, first, even considering those on the continent, because we keep forgetting that those on the continent also went through enslavement. But now we have the African Union declaring this year the year for reparatory justice and declaring the next 10 years a decade for reparations.
Yes.
And that is through collaboration, us talking to each other at the level of civil society, you know? Yeah. So, and therefore being able to influence the governments to actually take up this fight. You know, what we say on the ground affects our leaders, you know. We don't understand the full impact of what we do, you know, and sometimes it is that lack of understanding because we tend to want to see everything in physical. We don't understand the intangibles that result from struggle.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what is interesting about this conversation, Mrs. Uzoma-Wadada? The fact that you are celebrating so much of the successes that you've had. Because a lot of the times, sometimes you speak to institutions and they're all about the challenges and there's all the pacing and these are all of the obstacles that we have. You're not really focusing on that. You're acknowledging that there are challenges, but you're focusing on what has been accomplished.
That's right.
And I think that is so important in showing.
Because, No, go on. And because Africans are such a resilient people, you know, if our forefathers and ancestors were able to endure the rigors of enslavement, you know, what are the things that we have to face to continue that struggle? It's nothing near what they had to, you know, and they fought. And, you know, I always tell people they fought from the time that they were captured. They always fought. Not everybody were warriors. In any situation, in any society, everybody is not a warrior. You have those who become complicit with the enemy. You have those who are warriors. You have those who just want to live. You see me right now, I humbling myself because I just want to live. You know? But you have the warriors. And we always had warriors fighting for their people. And you know, and therefore we never ever accepted enslavement. People fought for it. Some mothers might have told the children, let us be about yourself now, because listen to me, I just want all you to live. You know, that's what it is I'm saying. You know, we have to go back into the heart and minds. You had mothers who killed their children when they were born because they didn't want them to go through that. You know, all of these things, or some of these emotions are captured in the Freedom Morning Camp that we present at the church. That is presented, by the Educator Company. The play itself was written by Entupul Springer, and that's one of the events that we use at 6 p.m. after we do our tribute to our ancestors at All Star Spaniard. Then we come down there and the play is held, you know. But we have to understand, we have to put ourselves back into the space of being someone in that space and time. You know, and after 500 years, you don't have your language, you don't have your spirituality, except for those who fought to keep it. And you will see the same exact manifestations of the composition of how different persons responded in the society today. So you have those of us who are fighting. We're gonna fight. You have those of us who listen. Let me just try and see how best I can fit into the people thing. If they say this is what I have to do to be accepted, I'm going to do that because I just want to make it. Right? Those are the people in the past who would have loved their master more than themselves. You understand? It had those. You see? Because why? I want the master to like me so that I can make it. Yes? So you had the warriors who fight it. You had those who are complicit, you know, and then you had those who just suffer the consequences. You see? So I'm saying, if you look into the society today, it's the same exact composition. But those of us who know better, those of us who understand the struggle, I call us kunta kintes, because we are the ones who resisted and resisted, and we will continue to resist. We have to do that on behalf of all. Those who are not as strong, those who are not as enlightened, those who don't remember at all, who don't even want to be called African, that doesn't even connect with them. That has been totally, what you would call it, extracted from their being. You know, now in Trinidad, people say they are Africans. Some people still want to say there's African Trinbagonians. I say, but it's only with Africans we want to add that. We are Africans living in Trinidad and Tobago. You see? So just even saying that, you know, sometimes I hear on the news, so they would say, if they say Chinese, Indian, and then say black people. Because the word Africans, and that's part of the colonial state of mind, it's still hard for us to use. You see? So even things like that, referring to us as slaves rather than enslaved Africans. You know, we were not born to be slaves. We were people who were enslaved. All that is part of the liberation. That's how we speak about ourselves. The fact that we are doing an African heritage. I keep like to tell you what we are doing. We're having an African heritage teen camp in the village. And we are teaching our little teens. We decided we have to bring our teens and give them some points of reference different from what they understand and what is being offered to them by the society. And they're learning an African language. You know, President Rawlings, and this is one of the quotes I always remember and repeat, and I say things over and over because I'm a teacher, and I think that's how I'm a trained teacher, and I think that's how we learn. He always said that one of the worst things you can do to a people is to take their language from them. Because there are things that is natural to yourself and emotions and that your language naturally express that you cannot say in a foreign language. So you all know the song by the rivers of Babylon where we sat down and you ask, how can we sing the Alpha song in a strange land? How can we be who we are? How can we express ourselves in a strange tongue, in a strange space? You know, so some of us, it's easier to forget and just adjust to what is before us. But then that is not going to work for us. So some of us know that it is important to remind us, to help us to reconnect so that we can find that beauty and power in ourselves. You know, so even though we struggle, there's something that ignites us and strengthens us each and every day to go there and fight that battle, because I know I don't walk alone. You know I walk with my ancestors and I walk with the divine energies each and every day. You know, so battles are there to be fought and battles are also there to be won. And one of the things that I also want to say, my brothers, is that we don't do this alone. Without the support of our service providers, they are building a village and they do not have a clue as to how they're going to be paid. Yeah. And they do it every year. And we struggle, even if we can't pay them right away, we eventually do it. You know, so when we are asking for funds, it's not to enrich the Emancipation Support Committee. If we look at this, yesterday, one of the young people in the office, because all my staff are young people, I'm the elder, you know, and they say, if you know how reading that statement paid them, because they work from morning till night in the village, you know, they work hard. You know, and when they see something like that written and they, you know, it pains them. And therefore, sometimes we don't understand the depth of pain. And I've always said that about how our politicians communicate. They need to have cultural sensitivity. Because if you don't, you do not know the depth of pain that you cause people, you know?
I can see the emotion. I can feel the emotion. About it coming through.
Sorry, yeah.
No, I can feel it. No, and that's human. You know, understanding that.
Yes.
I just wanted to, before we close off the conversation, I wanted to touch on the issue of reparations.
Yes.
And where that is at. I know it has become a conversation in CARICOM.
Yes.
And CARICOM has taken it on.
Yes.
But we're not really updated as CARICOM citizens as to where that whole issue of reparations is with the Europeans and stuff like that.
Right. So actually, again, this is a hard fight. Just even getting the European countries to apologize is a hard fight, and to claim responsibility, and by extension, their commitment to repay.
Yeah.
But we do have a National Reparations Committee. We did have one established when this regime was in power, and then when the next regime came in, they did not do anything about it until about 2 years ago when it was re-established. And now we are kind of little abeyance now because we have to wait for the new government now to meet and to formally, acknowledge the organization and its members. I'm actually the deputy chair of the committee. It is led by Dr. Claudius Fergus. So the idea about reparations, yes, it's very wide in the sense that, yes, we are looking for those who enslaved us and who built their empires on the blood, sweat, and tears and lives of our ancestors. They owe us, therefore they must pay us. But how are they going to pay us? They are not going to come around and give each some money. We have to repair things. And even if money is contributed towards that, if those who are in government, if they are still in that colonial state of mind, the people who need it are still not going to benefit. So I have a real concern about reparations without decolonization. Because the repairing of the mind, you understand, of the people, of our leaders, is extremely important to this reparations process. If we cannot see Africans through eyes that are not colonial, I'll give you an example. For example, if the police service was established to capture runaway Africans, if you look at the history of the police service in our region, that was the reason why you had a police service established. Mm-hmm. In other words, they were serving the needs of one particular group in the society to ensure and to protect them and protect their interests, which were, of course, the enslaved Africans. If you run away, no, we have to go get you. Now, we are building a police service, right, in the same colonial society. And yet we are going to try to change and hope to through training to change that attitude so that it becomes, yes, that's why we change from police force, you understand, to police service, and hope that becomes a sentiment. But still, somewhere in the deep, what they would call it, channels or something of our mind, if a police officer comes into the community in which I dwell, and he deals very differently with the community, you follow? And he will kick, if he don't have a warrant, he will go back and say he had one, but he will have no warrant. He will kick down your door if it is necessary, profile our youths, whatever. Yeah. That does not happen in other communities. You see? Now that is part of that sentiment. The Royal Jail on Frederick Street is the same exact institution building that held enslaved Africans in. And when you go there, that is where they keep so many of our people for years and years and years on remand, waiting. Sometimes you might have been caught with the possession of marijuana, which we have made a crime. You see? And some of them would stay in there for years because they either don't have money for good lawyers, or every time they go to court, the police does not come. So they've not ever been committed another crime, but they lived in that institutional space. That was once a space where you captured and kept enslaved Africans. So I don't know if you're understanding the energy of that kind of space. It's like if you went to Elmina Castle and
yes. I've been there.
That's right.
You cry when you go there.
Of course. Yeah. And we still have that same exact institution with very, very little, you know what I'm saying, adjustment or thing made it, and that's why we keep. And when we go in there, the pain is more deep because who are you seeing in there? Africans, you know. So these are things that we don't put all together and understand how deep the repairing requires.
Yeah.
So the part of the repairing is trying to fix those things. Stop calling our spaces by names of persons who have been responsible for our demise.
Yeah.
How? Everything has energy. Why are we walking around George Street and Henry? Who is George and Henry and Oxford? And we have to plead and beg for you to take a street that is named after one of our international revolutionary leaders. The house that he lives in is on that street where he was born and grew. Why is it so hard to call it Committee Street?
Yeah.
You know, but we want to take pride in Oxford. Who is Oxford? But when a child will be going down in town, this is George Padmore Street or George Padmore Highway or Kwame Ture Street or Henry Sylvester Williams Park, we can tell them something about who those people are. You know? But we have Lady Young Road and we have Winston Churchill. You know, we have these Beetham Highway and, you know, Picton this and Picton that, Woodford Square. You know, why don't we call it the McCandle Dagger Square? Or even Eric, I mean, they say Eric Williams didn't want anything named after him. But I mean, there are, and you know, there is a history of the square in at Woodford Square. And it mentions, yes, that Eric Williams called it what did that? Eric Williams called it the People's Parliament. But then, but as revolutionaries, we also gave it a name. You understand? No, I don't know. But anyway, there were two names. I know Eric Williams had this place where people came and get education, and then McCandle Dagger gave it a name. Why don't we have the name that McCandle gave it as part of his history? Okay, that was part of the revolution. That's part of our history. Our revolutions are part of our history. We don't teach our children about the Butler Revolution, the 1970 Revolution, regardless of what happened, how we feel about it. It is part of our history. And there was reason and rationale behind revolutions. And how are we responding to them? You know, so all of this is the repairing, you know, that not negating the African experience as part of our history and the truth about these experiences, you see? So I know you can see for so long because there's so much Wendell and Richard and such as.
So much, you have so much information too, you know. So it's like
yes. Yeah. But I know such as told me he wanted me to come and talk about emancipation.
Well, we did, eh?
Yes, we did. I think it was an amazing competition, but we still have 2 more days at the village before we go to the Cambulay Street procession. And so tonight we would be doing a tribute to Kariga Mandela. I really think he's a brother that we all need to come out and support. He was very, very close to Brother Resistance. You know, we did do a tribute both online and in the village for Brother Resistance. So now we are doing one tonight for Kariga. People should come out and really, you know, we have to learn to appreciate our heroes, you know, whether it's in culture, whether in academics, sports, you know. And of course, you know, culture was very low on the list, and Richard, you will know about that. But we continue to fight, you know. And you know what? A lot of I always tell the ministers when I speak with them, if we spend more money on culture and community development in Trinidad and Tobago, then we will begin to transform the society. Pouring all the money at the end of the road, national security has not done it. It has not done it, you know. But so we have to attribute to Kariga Mandela tomorrow night. And every day we have Rhythm and Voices of Africa in the afternoon, where we bring our community groups from all over Trinidad to play and to present themselves. And then we have on Friday, we have the Tutorial Thursday, we have our Trade and Investment Symposium. We didn't even go there. You understand? The Transatlantic Trade and Investment Symposium and the role that the Emancipation Support Committee has played in making everybody, even in this Caribbean, think that the trade with Africa was important. This is our 23rd Transatlantic Trade and Investment Symposium promoting trade in Africa and bringing persons to have discussions about that. We have not a lot. I'm not going to go down that road yet, but that is also very, very important now. And now, of course, it is what people want to do. We have the African Export-Import Bank. We have been fighting for it to come to Trinidad. We're hoping that it will happen. And then tomorrow night we do the Pan-African concert, and then Friday from 4 a.m. in the morning until we end with our Flambeau Street procession. We have that will take Emancipation Day. So there's still a lot to do. Come and get your last 2 to 3 days of shopping. The entrepreneurs are amazing. I don't know if Wendell or Richard, if you all have been back to go.
I come to get the soap.
The soaps. Yeah, yes, no. I am always so amazed by the capacity, again, you see, and the resilience of African people and their talents. You see, and these are the things that we have to nurture and feed and support so that we can fix, the challenges that we have. So that's what we use them to do. And I mean, I met two young people who import things. Young people I'm talking about, import things from Ghana, and there was another country, I think Kenya.
If you look behind my head, Miss Wadada.
Oh yeah, the symbol. Yes,
that's from Ghana.
Yes. And if you all notice, every year we use one of these symbols as part of our theme. Right. To recognize the theme. So this year our theme is shaping sustainable futures through reparatory justice, because we are confirmed that you can't have no sustainability if we don't deal with the issue of reparations, Yeah, man. So we continue to struggle. We continue to fight. I thank you all so much for giving us this opportunity to speak and to share, and it's been a pleasure. As I said, I always watch you all, so it's nice to be here with you all.
You gave us an opportunity to listen. I have to tell you that. How long Richard and I haven't been so silent?
Which is beautiful. Thank you so much. And I hope I did not over talk.
No. There's no such thing as over talking. Trust me.
Exactly. Yes.
Appreciate very much, Ms. Wadada.
And thank you too, very, very much. Thank you. And I say blessings upon you, Sir Charles, and all of our African community. And I want to encourage them, come and experience. We're still not getting as many of our people to come and be part of this experience. And I know we have to continue to work it as we continue to decolonize the mind and all of the, misperceptions and conceptions that they may have of themselves that prevent them from participating as they should. But we understand and appreciate that as part of the process and the growth. But we have been growing. I am convinced of that. And we acknowledge all our steps of growth and give thanks for it as we continue to work very, very hard to do better.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, blessings.
Yeah. Wadada, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. Ooh, I could listen whole day to Miss Wadada.
Yeah, of course.
Between David Mohammed and Zakiya Wadada, I could listen whole day.
Yeah.
Really excellent.
Yeah. I mean, but a very interesting conversation. And I like that, as I said, that she celebrated so much of what they're doing and so much of the success that they have had and are having in terms of, the Emancipation Support Committee.
Yeah. And I didn't want to tell her, but I think I should say it. But she has taken the African Emancipation Support Committee to another level. I know for years it was Mr. Kafra Cambon, and you felt it was a little docile, but she has taken it. She has taken up that fight. Woo. She has done an excellent job with that committee so far. Thank you, Ms. Wadada.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we are maybe a little too late for news, so I don't know if I should just go straight to playing our
the ads.
Ads, and then we're closing off in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the breakfast show, and of course, we're going to pay some bills.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Chamflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Chamflair. We do it all.
Looking for trusted, affordable security and property services? Horatio Services has you covered across Trinidad and Tobago. We offer battle security, canine patrols, 24/7 protection, and all sorts of private investigations, discreet, professional, and effective. But that's not all. We also provide construction. From building to renovation, we bring your vision to life. Landscaping, keep your outdoors looking sharp and inviting. Maintenance, repairs, upkeep, and everything in between. At Horatio Services, you get professionalism, reliability, and personal care. Whether it's safety or property support you need, visit us at Marino Street, Arima, or call 388-7070. Today, Horatio Services, protection, precision, peace of mind.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Oh yeah. Although leave out to watch con. That's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch con. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Richard planning wedding bells to ring, but Andrew got a secret thing. Best man supposed to stand by your side, not steal away your future bride. So Marie Kala, all them know, trust does break and hearts does go. At Queen's Hall Sunday night, August 10, 6:30, right? Benita Leslie Ann will show how betrayal steal the show. Deborah Mason directing true. This Trinity for me and you. You don't leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Leave out to watch corn. No, that's a lesson we should all know. Oh yeah, that's a lesson we should all know.
He's chat active, boy. Woo!
All right, so this is where we wrap up the breakfast show for this morning. Of course, NewEraTTRadio.com continues with its stream and New Era TT Radio on TuneIn, where you can continue to listen to the excellent programming throughout the day. You should not miss it. Of course, the weekend begins tonight, people, at the second after midnight. And of course, we'll be here tomorrow bright and early. And you know, tomorrow is your day. Tomorrow is the day we give you all free reign to talk how much you want.
Talk.
You know, and if we feel at times to bring up our little friend.
A bullshit? Especially for Lincoln. And this, Richard, I want you to play that one more time for a certain person in the chat. She knows who she is.
A bullshit?
The lip celeste, nice for you.
For who?
The lip celeste.
You pong on my Mrs. R?
Yes. Everybody had to pong this morning in the chat.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway, have a fantastic day, whatever you all do. And remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. And you should really come to theater. Of course, we'll be on next week, Sunday, not this Sunday, next week, Sunday the 10th of August. You don't leave foul to watch Corn. You should not miss it. Tickets are already on sale at Queen's Hall and all our usual outlets. Electronics, Arima, Jubilee Railway, Tunapuna, and Tony's Florals, Val Park Shopping Plaza, K Squared Fashions, West Mall, East Gates, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. And of course, I'm missing on Sharply Auto Services. So you can get tickets all over the place. And of course, at the Queen's Hall box office, they're already selling tickets and online. You can check RSRR Productions Theater on Facebook. That's where you go, RSRR Productions Theater. You have to add the theater to the end of it. We had a page years ago that was RSRR Productions, but that got taken over by somebody, and they all do kind of I don't know what they do now, kind of soft porn, kind of stupidness on Facebook. Of course.
Your page got hacked?
Years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago. It was just RSRR Productions, but now we had to change it to RSRR Productions Theater. Now, mind you, that page still have plenty of followers because you know that people like to watch tours. So, but RSRR Productions Theater is where you could go, and you could also buy tickets online too.
Let me make 2 announcements. One is that the opening of the long-awaited Desperately Crescent Youth Development Center, that's happening today at 1 p.m. up at Desperately Crescent. Congratulations to Councillor Esther Sylvester for finally seeing that project through to its end. Today it will be commissioned. And also to challenge our listeners and our fans to come out to Richard's Play next week, Sunday at Queen's Hall. We'll meet there. Or they didn't want to come by Rumbox Friday gone, so we'll meet by Richard's Play in Queen's Hall. Next week, Sunday, we'll all meet there. We'll have a surprise for you all, okay? All right? Buy a ticket, come to Richard's Play, and we'll meet there. All of you all who chatting, Scorpion Pepper, Miss R, Cheryl Henry, Ava Smith, Beauty Culture, Carlisle Cupid, or Donna Ramlochan. We challenge you all, Charmaine Bernard, DL, Diane Payne. We challenge Magic. We challenging you all to buy a ticket for Richard Play, and we'll meet at Queen's Hall next week, Sunday. All right? Bye-bye, folks. One life, live it.
Yeah. Have a fantastic day. Remember to smile and laugh. Don't let anybody stress you out. All right. This has been Wendell,
The Breakfast Show.
You got it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show